Think about the first thing you did when you woke up this morning. You opened your eyes. You reached over to your nightstand. You picked up your phone. You unlocked the screen and you began to scroll. You believe you chose to do that. You believe that your conscious mind, the I, inside your head, made a deliberate decision to consume that information. You believe that you are the author of your own life, the architect of your own habits, and the master of your own destiny. But what if you are wrong? What if the overwhelming majority of your daily actions are nothing more than a pre-written script? What if your freedom is nothing more than a multiple-choice menu, meticulously designed by an architect you cannot see? In 1762, the philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau wrote a sentence that has haunted humanity ever since. Man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. Look around you. These are not iron chains. You cannot touch them. They are the psychological shackles of modern comfort and societal conditioning. When you are born, you are a blank canvas. But from the moment you take your first breath, the system begins to carve you. Society hands you a menu of acceptable paths. They tell you what success looks like, what age you should achieve it, what opinions are safe to hold, and what brands make you valuable. You are told you have the absolute freedom to choose. But you are only allowed to choose from their pre-approved menu. This is the greatest psychological heist in human history, the illusion of choice. And today, we are going to expose exactly how the trap works. To understand the architecture of this manipulation, we must look back more than 2,000 years to the philosopher Plato. In his most famous work, The Republic, he introduced a terrifying concept known as the allegory of the cave. Imagine a group of prisoners who have been chained deep inside a dark cave since birth. They cannot turn their heads. They can only stare at the blank stone wall in front of them. Behind them, a fire is burning, and between the fire and the prisoners, the manipulators walk back and forth, holding up objects that cast towering shadows on the wall. Because these prisoners have never seen the outside world, they accept the shadows as absolute reality. They name the shadows. They argue about the shadows. They build their entire world-view around the shapes flickering on the stone. They never once realize that they are trapped, because they do not know what freedom looks like. Plato left us with a chilling warning. Those who tell the stories rule society. Today, the cave is not made of stone and fire. It is made of algorithms and pixels. The shadows are the infinite feeds, the customized news articles, and the notifications engineered to keep you staring at the black mirror in your hand. When your environment is entirely curated by a digital system, you aren't exploring reality. You are being herded through a customized labyrinth. The algorithm learns your fears, your insecurities, and your desires, and it casts the perfect shadows on your screen to keep you engaged. You think you are forming your own independent opinions, but you are merely repeating the echoes of the cave. But how do they make you stay in the cave? They don't need your permission to control you. They only need to understand your psychology better than you do. In the late 19th century, a scientist named Ivan Pavlov made a discovery that changed behavioral science forever. He proved that behavior doesn't require conscious choice. By ringing a bell right before he fed his dogs, he conditioned their brains to associate the sound with food. Eventually, he could ring the bell, and the dogs would physically salivate, even when no food was present. He hijacked their biological response. Fast forward to the modern world. The sharp ping of a text message, the bright red circle of an unread notification, the specific layout of a social media app. These are the modern bells. They trigger a spike of dopamine in your brain before your conscious mind even has time to evaluate if you actually want to look at your phone. But it gets darker. In the 1930s, psychologist B.F. Skinner took Pavlov's work to the next level. He created something called the operant conditioning chamber, now known as the Skinner box. He placed animals inside a box with a lever. When the animal pressed the lever, it received a pellet of food. But Skinner discovered something terrifying. If he gave the animal food every single time, they only pressed the lever when they were hungry. But if he randomized the reward, if the animal didn't know when the food was coming, they became obsessed. They would press the lever frantically. constantly completely addicted to the anticipation. This is the exact psychological blueprint of a casino slot machine, and it is the exact blueprint of your social media feed. Every time you pull down to refresh your screen, you are pulling the lever on a digital slot machine. Will you get a like? Will you see a viral video? Will you see a tragedy? The unpredictability is the trap. The algorithm is the scientist, and you are the subject in the box. You might be thinking, I am too smart for this. I make logical decisions. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman shattered that myth. He proved that the human brain operates on two systems. System 2 is slow, deliberate, and logical. It takes effort to use. System 1 is fast, automatic, and emotional. Kahneman proved that 95% of our daily decisions are made. By System 1, the brain is inherently lazy. It uses mental shortcuts to save energy. Manipulators, whether they are politicians, marketers, or tech companies, know this. They bypass your logical System 2 entirely. They target your fear, your ego, or your desire for comfort. By the time your rational mind wakes up, it is only there to justify the choice your emotional brain already made. This leads us to the masterpiece of modern control, choice architecture. Behavioral economists know that the way a choice is presented dictates your decision more than the options themselves. Humans will almost always take the path of least resistance. This is called the default effect. When a streaming service autoplays the next episode before you can grab the remote, that is choice architecture. When a website pre-selects the accept all cookies button, making it difficult to decline, that is choice architecture. They know you will not expend the psychological energy required to change the default setting. They choose not to choose for you, and in your silence, you cede all control. To keep you blind to this control, they utilize the paradox of choice. They overwhelm you with thousands of trivial decisions. Which of the 50 coffee flavors do you want? Which of the 10,000 movies do you want to watch? Which filter should you put on your photo? They give you the illusion of infinite freedom in the trivial aspects of your life, exhausting your decision-making power, so you never notice that the major, life-defining choices have already been stripped away from you. The illusion runs deeper than you can imagine. In the 1980s, a neuroscientist named Benjamin Libet conducted experiments that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. By attaching sensors to patients' heads, he discovered that the human brain begins preparing for a physical action, like pressing a button. Milliseconds before the person is consciously aware they have decided to act. Let that sink in. The impulse executes in the dark. Your conscious mind, the part of you that says, I chose to do that, is just taking credit for a reaction you never actually chose. Freedom is not stolen from you by force. It is reshaped through invisible design. But there is a weakness in their architecture. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the most powerful empires in history. Yet his greatest discovery was not political. It was psychological. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That is the final battlefield. Not the world. Your mind, not society. Your perception. Because the world can suggest. It can pressure. It can manipulate. But it cannot control your thinking unless you surrender it. Ancient scripture confirms this psychological reality with chilling precision. Proverbs 23:7 declares, "As he thinketh in his heart, so is he." Not as he wishes, not as he hopes, as he thinks. Repeated thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs become actions. Actions become habits. And habits become your destiny. This is why the ancient texts provided the ultimate psychological software. Update to break this programming. The book of Colossians issues a direct warning. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world. You cannot physically escape the modern labyrinth, but you can conquer it from within. 2 Corinthians provides the exact method for this mental warfare. Pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and bringing into captivity every thought. You must become the ruthless architect of your own attention. You must capture your automatic reactions before they take root. Before you leave this chamber, you must arm yourself with these 5 survival tools. Write these down. They are not just ideas. They are weapons. Lesson 1. Not every choice you make is truly yours. Many are installed, repeated, and conditioned. Lesson 2. Your environment programs your preferences. What you see daily becomes what you believe. Lesson 3. Habits silently determine your future. It is not one big decision that ruins you, but thousands of tiny engineered repetitions. Lesson 4. Awareness breaks manipulation. You cannot escape a trap you cannot see. And Lesson 5. True freedom begins inside your mind. Not in outside systems, but inside your own perception. As the Gospel of John states, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Freedom is not selecting from their pre-approved menu. Freedom is finally seeing the code. Because now that you understand the illusion of choice, the next question becomes even more dangerous. Not, are you being influenced? But who is designing the influence? In the next chamber, episode 2, we will expose the architects of manipulation. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Welcome deeper into the conscious chamber.